All right, good. One person up in here. How you doing? We are going to be doing a transmission removal today. Get the channel up here. Move. View my channel. Live. Okay, yep, I got 2 lives up. Edit. And monetization. On. Edit in studio. On. Save. Checkaroo. All right. That should do it. I'll do all 1/4 inch. I didn't get my Matco still hasn't brought me my new ratchet. That out of there. Now I need my 22 check. Long 3/8. Not seeing it. Not seeing it. I did take it. Took it to another station. It's at another station. Save the gloves for later. All right, good. Well, if you didn't catch the title, I do have a second camera set up, but you'll have to go to my main page and switch to that stream. So I got a vertical stream going on the phone to grab your attention. Then I'm running a GoPro inside the engine bay. My videos are generally just kind of some watch me work and listen to me make some light conversation. I don't have the luxury of stopping to answer a lot of questions, but usually right before I end the video, I'll scrub through all the chat and sound off and give all the shout outs to people that I recognize. You can always leave comments in the main comment section of the video, so that's not chat, anything outside of chat, and I can respond there. Go to my email address on my main page, click on the about, there's my email. But we're not paid hourly, we're paid by the job, so this job has to get done quick. We're going to be dropping this transmission to get a chain pump cover reseal done on it. I was debating whether or not I just wanted to pull the engine, and I just kind of flipped a coin and said, pull the transmission. Why not? You guys love watching transmission pulls for some reason. I get higher pulling numbers on my transmission pulls versus my engine pulls. Oh, and Sarah, because it's a garage, everyone's got to crank their music up. Usually the louder the music, the less work is being done. That's how I gauge it. I always say that if you can hear the music in somebody else's bay, your music's too loud. But that is the one thing that will start a fight in a shop, is going over and telling somebody to turn their music down. It's like an unwritten law. You just deal with it. I do enjoy listening to my own leisurely music, but that's what headphones are for. I don't need to have these big 1,000-watt subwoofer systems in a garage. I left the garage once because they couldn't control the music. They actually tried to pay me to stay. They were like, we'll give you a raise. I was like, or you could just tell people to control their music. But they knew if they got after the people about the music, those people would leave. So it is what it is. And to be truthful about it, it's not that it's just bad music or not that it's too loud. I mean, I do mainly diagnostics here. Customers complaining about noises, engine performance issues, and you got somebody who thinks it's just great to just crank up music. I can't hear the problems with the car. I even helped out somebody else who had a problem. They had an AC problem. And he's like, Joe, he's like, I can't figure this out. I need some help. Sure, I'll help you out. Right away, I tell him, I says, hey, do you hear your AC compressor cycling? He's like, no. He's like, exactly. Your music's too fucking loud. Turn your goddamn music down. Turn your music down and listen for that compressor cycling. And he didn't get it. He's just like, oh, well, you got something against music? No. I said, I got something against you not listening for the problem on your car. You have an AC concern. Listen for your compressor clutch. So he finally turns down his music. I'm like, do you hear it cycling? No. Okay, there you go. You need to find out why it's not cycling. Like, so how long did you waste? How much time did you waste? I watched somebody else lock up an engine. Yeah, locked up an engine. Just built this engine. He just built the engine, and it locked up on him, and he didn't even know it. He didn't know that it started knocking because his music was so loud. He had his back turned to the engine. He's sitting there just head banging, playing with his text messaging. Until somebody said something. So y'all got to think about that. Have fun with your music, but, be proportional about it. I just seen too many simple accidents happen because of loud music. I've seen too many misdiagnoses because of loud music to just justify the idea of that you don't need to have blasting music. I understand music kind of helps you get your job done, but at the same time, you need to watch what you're doing. So that's enough of a rant. Y'all get me stuck on a rant. I can rant all day, but I know you didn't come here to hear me rant. Alright, so I got my torque converter bolts out. I need to get one more bell housing bolt out. I'm going to have to get my side bolts out. Yeah, I got to get my side bolts out. So if you want to see me take the side bolts out, you're going to have to switch over to the other stream. I don't want to waste a lot of time moving the other camera around. They're going to be fixed cameras. I am working on getting a microphone set up for the other one. Just gotta. I think I left it on my computer at home, but I did figure out a strategy to get 2 lapel mics going, one for each camera, because the lapel mics really do cut down on the ambient shop noise with impacts, and they also do make it easier for you to hear me, and most importantly, when somebody is playing their music loud, it doesn't demonetize my video and get it deleted by YouTube, because that is one of the most annoying things trying to avoid, is getting your video taken down because there's a whole bunch of music in the background. I think YouTube ended one of my streams a few months ago. I had a stream going and it ended. I didn't know why, so I started it again and it ended shortly after. And then I didn't know what was going on, so I just abandoned the idea of doing a stream that day. I get home, I look at my email, and they were saying that the specific artist doesn't share their music with YouTube. And YouTube knows this artist, and their AI recognized the music in the background, so they were just automatically shutting off my stream as part of a royalties. So basically the artist didn't have a royalty share set up with YouTube. Alright, there we go. So the big nasty 17 is out. On one side, you are going to be crashing these 17s into the sidewall. Okay. I do recommend that you take out the 17s first. I'm sorry, take out the longest one, the one that crashes into the frame. You want to take those ones out first. Reason being is, if you let up on the other two, they'll put all the weight on this long bolt and you'll fight this long bolt all the way out. So we're keeping the other two bolts in so they can keep the weight off of this long bolt. That's my big pro tip. Then we're using the mountain wrenches, which have the stubby socket in, to get in there and break them loose. Once the deed is done, and you walk them out a little bit. Sometimes you can get in there with your fingertips and you can start walking them out a little bit more. And this one that's on the driver's side, she's the most annoying one, just because there's just a lot of interference. So generally what I'll do is I'll get it out just enough so that I can put on a stubby ratcheting wrench, and I get more speed out of this one. Even though it has about the same amount of throw, I can just ratchet it back and forth faster. Yes, this morning I did finish up that evap core from yesterday, and right as I finished it, I diagnosed another bad evap core. I got 2 more dashes to pull now. This sucks. Not happy about that. All right. Go to my computer for a moment and type something out. Save. All right, good. Oh, come on, CDK, don't crash. Oh, it crashed. Okay, 2 long bolts out, taken out. Check. Okay, now let's get the other ones taken out. Okay, we are coming up on a Friday. Super happy about that. My hours are stupid low right now. Just like right now, just today on a Thursday, I barely got 20. It's embarrassing. But that evap core just trashed me. Alright, I got a starter bolt I want to grab from underneath. I think it's just going to be easier for me. I'm not too good about grabbing them from the top. I'll give it one try. Somebody's out there saying, I can do it. Let me see how I feel about it. Usually that bottom starter bolt's just kind of a weird thing to get to. I can feel that I'm on it, but I just can't turn my wrench. I bet you if I throw an extension maybe on it, that'll help. That big? Okay. Yeah? Yeah, the outsides are 530 and the insides are 020. Right? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, outside 530. Yeah. Yeah, and then the insides are 0 weight. Yeah, it took me 2 weeks to figure that out again after I came back from that week off. I don't know what my oil reels are. I felt so stupid. I must have asked Ed like 3 or 4 times. Just want you on that stud and that nut, bro. Hey, there it goes, finally. Ugh. Broke it loose, alright. Yeah, I knew I could do it. You doubted me. So I'm just going to kind of slip the starter. It's just going to lay right there. Ugh. And there's one more sneaky bolt behind the starter for the bell housing. Check and check. I think I'm up the 10 millimeter for the ground. We cannot forget that. Oh no. So important. Okay, then our transmission plugs right here. Check and check. Now we're safe to take the car up and not come back down, right? First pair of gloves destroyed. not going to need this anymore. Don't worry, I'll bring you along. Alright, so we're going to focus on getting my mid pipe off here. Oop, don't want to move you guys too much. Wasn't paying attention there for a second. Just keeping track of stuff as I use it, putting it away. Our short-term memory for tools has been pretty bad. Taking things apart and putting them back together, that memory is working really good. But my where did I set that down last memory, that sucks. So I always prefer to take the 3 bolts off the exhaust manifold before I take off the center pipe bolt and the spring bolts. Reason being is if they got weight on them, that's how they get twisted and pulled and cross-threaded, and you get broken bolts. So yeah, that center bolt can hold up a lot of weight. Yeah, y'all can see. You're good. You're good. Okay, I need a 12 mil ratchet and a pry bar. right here. Take apart our drive shaft. Yeah, good enough. Alright, it's already, the manufacturer marks are still there, so I'm just going to reuse those so I know where to put it back together. It's always a good practice when you take apart these universal joints, these cardans, that you do mark them so that they go back to their worn-in position. That's the idea of it. Especially on big old pickup trucks. It's a really good practice. I perpetually teach people to always mark everything that has a rotational, anything that rotates, like a drive shaft or a rotor. You should always mark the position you took it off on. When I worked on trucks a lot, that was a really big comeback for folks that they were taking rotors off to cut the rotors because they're using an off-car brake lathe, but they weren't marking where they took the rotor off the hub. And the car would come back with a noise or a vibration. So once they started enforcing that practice, the problem went away. Okay, now I want a 12. Of course that's not going to work. That's a half inch. Ooh. Feisty. $14.14. Let's see if this old M12 can do it. Nope. Yeah, it's only got one bar. That's a lot to ask for a 3/8. Man, those are on there good. Shouldn't be banging up my chromes. Oh, dickhole. Where is my long impact 14? That's not cool, bro. Oh, them are fighting words. Man, those are on there, huh? Well, we're just gonna go straight to the half inch now. Half inch. Hi.
On this one, we finally got some approval for these for the control panel and the compressor. We got a little bit of extra time with the compressor, so we got 3.5 and 1.5, so another 5 hours.
That works.
Okay.
All right. I'll get the parts.
Don't know the timetable. I didn't promise a timetable.
Yeah. Let me spark them right now so that they can order parts. Okay. 137-078. That's annoying, folks. Those are on there really, really good. Alright, sold some work. That's good. There we go. Let's put a heavy socket. Holy moly, that's on there pretty good. I bet you that blew your eardrums out, huh? Alright. Okay, that's going to stay there good. Secure my tools. Secure the bolt. Alright, take the drive shaft out of that slip yoke. Put my butt plug in. Okay, I left you guys blind, so sorry. Not my fault, not my fault. A little bit more money, I'll get me a cameraman, huh? What do you think? Alright, so now we're going to get the wheels and the axles out. Hey, 278 people in here. Wow, you guys like watching me work on cars. That's weird. I find it so weird that people like watching me work on cars. So if you're in the vertical stream, I do have a second camera going. You can just click on my main page, scroll over to the live section, and you'll see a second stream going. So that way you can see different angles. And also, the second camera is a GoPro, so the picture quality will look better because that one's in high def. Alright, well, that axle nut is living in that socket. You guys want to know why this car is coming apart so easy and not fighting me? I'll give you a hint. She's one of my preferred customers, and every time I put something on this car, I put my secret sauce. It's called Mechanics Love Anti-Seize. Alright? Always help out the next guy, I say. Even if it's yourself. And yeah, I've worked on cars in the north. I'm a Michigan guy. I know what it's like to work on trash up there. Worked on Montana cars when I was in Great Falls, Montana. Worked on Detroit cars from Michigan. I know trash. Don't think you're special. Alright, get me some axle stubs. Woo! Feisty one. She's okay. She is gonna be A-okay. Hey, touchdown on this end. Not this end. That's good. This end can take a whack. Not worried. Looked worse than it was. It's kind of like when your 4-year-old trips over and falls down the stairs. You're like, he's okay. He's okay. Got a little slippery stuff on the floor. Little slippery stuff, so I'll fix that up with some piggies. Gotta make sure that GoPro battery stays charged because it died on me last time because the backup battery wasn't working for nothing. Alright, so I still got 2 more bell housing bolts on the left and the right side. Then I gotta get the last 2 17s out of the bracket. So I'm gonna go for the bracket bolts first because if I loosen the bell housing bolts, they're gonna put tension on them. And I explained how you don't want to have tension on them. And these bracket bolts are going to be so much easier to get out with the axles out of my way. So I know that people they absolutely hate these CVT removals with these brackets, but you follow the right process, you use the right wrench, it's not that bad. Could be worse. There's always something worse. Getting hungry. Time is it? 5 o'clock. I still got another hour. Can do a lot of damage in an hour on this car. I kind of got a good second wind. Okay. There we go. Transmission was pulling down, and I allowed myself to back my wrench into a corner. We don't want to do that. Ooh. Yeah, I did a dumb thing. I did a really dumb thing. I'm not paying attention to what kind of car I'm working on, guys. How about we fix that problem? Almost made myself look like an idiot live. I don't want to do that. At least not live. Okay, so little reset. Not a problem. Only lost a little bit of time. Not a whole lot of time. Just a little bit of time. Anybody want to take a gander? What really, 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 really important thing I forgot to do? Kind of a big step. I forgot to install the traversing engine hoist. You see, due to the configuration of this engine, the two rear engine mounts are shared with the bell housing of the transmission. So when you pull the transmission, you don't have rear engine mounts. Your engine will fall out of the car. That's not something I want to happen. Okie doke. We don't want our car, we don't want to break this engine. Huh. I didn't see that being a problem. Oh, that's hilarious. Can I still squeak it out? I think I can still squeak it out. Yeah, I still got her out. That just means it's going to be that much more fun to put it back on the car. Be careful not to set this on the core support of your radiator. I got mine sitting on the latch for the hood striker. It's an okay spot. No, so the worst part about people who play music in the shop is when they're not even by the bay that they're working in. That's annoying. We had one guy who was really obnoxious with his radio because it was Bluetooth to his phone, and he would walk all around the shop, and as he walked around the shop, the music would skip in and skip out, and it was already loud, and you just hear it saying, no matter how many times we politely just went over and turned off the boombox, it would just fire right up again, and he'd walk away like it was nothing. Childish. I'm of the belief that yes, you can talk to people about problems that you have with them, but unfortunately, 90% of the people in the automotive industry, they grew up on the rules of the hard knocks, where feelings are bad, and you're not supposed to express them. And the only feeling they know how to express is um, taking something personal. Like last time I asked somebody nicely, like, hey, can you turn it down? I'm trying to diagnose a car. He was like, you don't like music? Like, that's not the response. I didn't say I didn't like your music. I gave you a reason. I'm trying to diagnose a car. Um, I took it, guys. I took a bracket off. Did I roll? I rolled it to the side. That's where it is. Okay. I knew I rolled it to the side. I just didn't know what side I rolled it to. think the second thing that really annoys me about streaming, about people playing music, are the ones who stream it, but they don't pay for the subscription. So every other song is just a really, really, really loud ad. Like, frustrating. I did get back at somebody once as a prank because they didn't have a subscription to cancel out the ads, but they left their computer up. And if you know anything about how these advertisements play, they look at your search history on your browsers and they start suggesting things to you, like for advertisements, right? Some of the streaming services, the ads are hard locked into your GPS location. Some of them actually look at your personal information. Depends on the settings. So they were away, and I went to the settings and um, I turned on the feature where it would curtail ads to their interest, meaning it looks at their search history. And then I went into their browser and I just quickly just like searched for a whole bunch of nonsense about libido pills, penis pills. So the next day, all of a sudden, it just starts suggesting that this guy needs like a whole bunch of testosterone pills and penis pills. I felt pretty good about that. I was like, I did that. And what do you know? He bought a subscription that day. He's like, I don't know what happened. Come on. There it is. Okay. Got some good lift here in the corner. I don't like how it's settling. Let me fix that. Good. Good. Front engine mount. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just gonna go for that. I'm lowering it just a little bit so I can slide this bolt out for the transmission mount. Maybe I need to come up a lot. Let's see. Yep, I just need to come up a lot. Okay. So that's out. That's tight. Good. All right. Let's go back up. Probably lose like 20 minutes with that, but it needed to be done anyways. We're at 10 after 5 Central Standard Time. Making good progress. Making good progress. I'm hungry. I'm getting hungry. Today's a workout day, so I can't stay late. Let's see where I can get you guys clamped up. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I gotta doing doing some life-changing events. Weighed myself at 205 pounds. Don't like that weight. And I finally got a bug up my butt, figuratively, not literally. Start working out again, go back to the gym. So I got to make sure I'm diligent about punching out. I got to make sure I punch out at 6. Get out of here. No more staying late, because staying late isn't working out. Okay, on this one, if I remember correctly, I am going to have to scooch the universal joint off the steering rack over. And I did not tie down the steering wheel. Oops. So let's hope this doesn't move, otherwise I'm stuck doing an alignment. Fingers crossed. Yeah, believe it or not, I actually was kind of I was a bit of a gym rat. When I was in South Korea, I probably got into the best shape of my life. Best shape of my life in South Korea. One of the biggest perks. The one thing that made it really easy to stay in shape in South Korea was the fact that their economy isn't dependent on owning a vehicle. So their public transportation is off the hook. Even in the rural area, like I could, for 50 US dollars, I could buy a monthly subscription to ride the train anywhere I wanted. It was great. And thievery wasn't a big thing there, so you just rode a basic bicycle. Nobody steals bikes. So I was probably, I say biking about 10 miles a day, just around the military base, a lot of hills, going downtown. It was really enjoyable. I stayed in great shape. But I got my weight down to 175 pounds. 175. I was benching about 225 and squatting about 300. I mean, I really wasn't trying to go for like bulk weight. I wasn't doing bodybuilding. So over there, I was just doing a lot more circuit training because I was into the endurance of it. So I like doing a lot of competitions that involve just having a lot of endurance. Uh, Picked up rock climbing really good. I loved rock climbing. Because the funniest thing about the rock climbing was uh, some of my friends who were really into the bulking up and the bodybuilder, they were really upset because they couldn't keep up with me. And when I kept trying to tell them, I was like, yeah, you're stronger than me. Yeah, you bench more than me. Yeah, you curl more than me. Yeah, you deadlift more than me. But gravity's killing you. You're like 250 pounds of muscle. You need to lean up a little bit. You're too heavy. That's why you can't last on the rock wall so much. All right. Pay attention now. Got to make sure that I take this out at the right angle. Too much. Let's come down a little bit. That's down a lot. Okay, that feels better. Okay. Kind of rusty at taking one of these guys out. Alright, so she's loose. What seems to be the problem is my table. Oh. Whoops. I have a hydraulic hose that I left connected. Alright. These are your best friend. Lyle hose spreaders. Alright. Not fighting that anymore. Is it an up thing? Is it a down thing? Just gonna take a look and see. I'm looking to see how the bell housing is tilted versus the engine is sitting. So gotta bring in the assistants. The handy dandy little floor jack. Just catch it. Just want to cradle the engine just a little bit so I can get a little bit more wild with it. There we go. Because all that's up there is just a transmission hoist. And if I get too feisty trying to pull this out, I could knock that engine hoist and I could do some damage. Okay, we're free. Yeah, so if you guys saw me a couple days ago pulling that evac core, I was just cringing, in a lot of pain. Monday was my first day back to the gym, and I went back Tuesday. Took my rest day Wednesday, so I'll be going back tonight. Let's get our seatbelt on here. Buckle up for safety, right? So for the first 3 to 4 weeks or month, I'm not going to be doing any heavy weightlifting. I'm going to be doing nothing but a lot of circuit training. Okay? Because I want to get my stabilizer muscles up to speed. Get my cardio tuned up. Then I'll achieve better results for the weightlifting. .5:30. Making good time. Yep, that's our leak. Big time. This seal is blown out. See how she rocks back like that? That's why you gotta use the seatbelt. Alright, enough chatter. Let's get this sucker torn down. A mini indexing pry bar is your best friend for this task. Indexing pry bars have a little button. You can move the hook like that. So I can hit all these pry points. Interesting. This is very interesting. And very shameful on the person who went into this last. These chain pump covers on these CVTs, it's a known issue. Okay? There's fucking bulletins about it. There's a warranty extension on it. If you're putting a torque converter in for somebody, because that's what the history showed, the customer got a torque converter installed, do this. Seriously. Like, because that's what I saw on the customer's history. Um, I was like, really? You got a leak? And then I saw like, somebody was in there a year ago. Yeah, so if you own a Subaru and you're paying somebody to put a torque converter in for you on a CVT, specifically tell them, hey, can you do a chain pump cover reseal? The, what are they? They're going to charge you like an extra $30. This is, even if you got it resealed in the past, I still change this out. And it's not like you need a new chain cover. It's just gasket maker. Gasket maker and one seal. That's it. But if any of y'all are new to the channel, recommend you stay in touch with me, okay? You know, the thumbs up, the subscribing, because I'll show you how to get bulletins. You can buy access to all the information I have for pennies on the dollar. Like $30, you can see everything that I see. So you can do your own research on your own vehicles. Because I insist that all my customers and all my viewers be educated about their vehicle. You don't have to know how to like work on it, but you should be familiar with it. And the reason why you should be familiar with it is because vehicles are fucking expensive. And the more naive you allow yourself to be, the more people are going to take advantage of you. They really are. You're always going to be in a horrible position if you just don't understand fundamentals. And it's not like you have to go to an advanced college to understand car fundamentals. I mean, understanding car fundamentals, shit. When I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, in our high school, it wasn't just automotive class. That was actually insisted as a survival skill because the principal was saying, hey, the automobile is the future. Like everybody needs to know how to do something. It's like our home ec class, our home education class. We had a week that was dedicated to the automobile because the automobile was so important to the common household. So they spent time about how to change a tire, how to change your oil, like do's and don'ts of owning a vehicle, how to check your oil. Just simple suburban survival skills that you should have. Basic vehicle safety. So it really bothers me that education systems are pumping so much money into sports and teasing our kids with the idea that they're going to become professional athletes. And they got them chasing down college scholarships to be an athlete. And like, do you understand like how many other kids are chasing the same dream and what the percentage of success is? Do you really want to go down that rat race where you burn your body out and you risk permanent injury? Have a plan B. And you know where that advice came from? It came from my dentist. Because my dentist was a linebacker for Michigan State. He got himself a full ride to Michigan State on a football scholarship, and he immediately saw the damage that he was doing to his body playing sports on a professional level, a semi-professional, I guess that's what you'd call college, but at a college graduate level. He was like, man, I'm getting eaten alive. So he changed his major his second semester of college. He still got to keep his scholarship. Now he's a dentist. Because what happened the last couple years he was playing, he got injured. He got neck and back injuries. Folks, I think we got to go a little bit deeper on this one. So normally we just do chain pump cover, but I think we got to go deeper. All right. All right, so these are Torx Plus. No, these are E-Torque Plus. E-Torque Plus. Nasty little fuckers. I can't remember if I got to take this piece off, but I'm going to take it off for good measure. It can go in the pan. Now we'll get these out. Those are 12s. But yeah, just in my general education, I pay attention. I don't have kids, but I pay attention to what the public schools are doing. Man, just all their whole curriculum is trash now. These poor kids, they're not getting any good survival skills. And folks, I came out of a class D for Delta district, okay? We didn't have a lot of money. But in the graduating class of 60 people that I had, I came out with a lot of skill. Okay, they made us learn HTML5, or they made us learn how to code HTML because they recognized that the internet was a big thing. I gotta check my service manual really quick. I gotta make sure that I can tear down from this point. I might be confusing this with a Gen 2. Alright, let me log in. diagnostics, Outback, transmission, and let me look at my teardown here. Yeah, there's... Okay, so what is that plate called that I am accessing? 15. The converter case cover. That's what I'm accessing. Remove transmission assembly, remove air breather hose, remove oil pan, remove control valve body, remove transmission harness, remove extension case, remove rear drive... What the... Wait. No. Okay. Remove oil pump chain cover. Yeah. Okay, now, okay, remove. This book's got to be wrong. I should not, I repeat, I should not have to tear down the main case to get this off. That doesn't make sense. Unless something from the rear is holding this. No. Nothing from the rear should be holding this case. Okay, so this should just pop off. There it goes. I was just double checking to make sure that nothing was bolted to the back of it. And it was really, really weird that the manual was telling me to pretty much just do a whole transmission teardown to get to this part. I'm sure there might have been a reason. And it might have just been so that it comes out a little bit smoother. Because they see in the book it has this shaft removed. But I think we're going to be okay. As long as we get everything to open up evenly. There she goes. We don't want to lose these. These are our shims. Yeah, we were definitely leaking right here. So we got some seals right here. You got to be aware of. They go into there. O-ring right here. So I'm just going to hang everything right there so it doesn't get lost. But yeah, that's more than likely why they want you to take all the gearing out to get this off, because they don't trust you to put it together with all this stuff in place. But this is our oil pump right here. I don't know if the GoPro's getting it. Here's our oil pump. Here's our input shaft. Looks like just an oil squirter right here. Alright, well, let's get her cleaned up. And then tomorrow morning, looks like I'm going to have to get me some new O-rings. But, hey, I come this far, I'm going to do it right. I'm not going to take all the risk because I really think it was leaking right here. See, it's because of all these selectable shims. That's why the manufacturer doesn't like us tearing down these CVTs and rebuilding them. There's just too many variables that could go wrong. And it's more cost effective to just send these units out to a repair facility that has trained and certified people, and they actually do have like a bench checker, so they can install this on a machine and they can run a full bench test to make sure it was assembled correctly. Because if you're trying to think that these CVTs are built anywhere like your old-fashioned 5-speed, 4-speed automatics out of your pickup trucks, where you just stand the transmission up on its tail housing, you start dropping in drums of clutch packs, Nope. No way, Jose. Everything's measured, it's shimmed, and it's shimmed down to like the thousandths of an inch. And when you're doing all these meticulous measurements, you need specialized measuring equipment. Like I used to build transmissions, so I have a tabletop caliper set that like expands about this big, so I can do deck height, so I can measure the deck and make sure that the shaft is in there correctly. And that thing's like $1,000. If you find, and I got mine used, but like new, they can be like $2,500. Try and keep as much garbage out of there as possible. So whenever I do cleaning, I like using microfiber. Microfiber is not going to leave any residue. Microfiber is good at absorbing oil. When I used to fix transmissions after somebody else had rebuilt it, I can't tell you how many times I would find like parts of red rags, like because there was so much lint left from the red rag in the transmission. You would just find clogged oil strainers. Oh, how many miles are on this transmission? Like 180,000? This is an original CVT. Again, my customer listens to me. They've been with me since 2014, and every 30,000 miles they get a CVT fluid flush. Because I says I know they're $500 a flush. Says, but it's still cheaper than an $8,000 parts and labor transmission replacement at 100,000 miles, right? And you're like, yeah, it is. So she wants a 250,000 mile car. And she's almost there. I mean, still original head gaskets too. Because she understands the lesson that preventative maintenance is the best maintenance. Gets the oil changed early, changes the coolant every 60,000 miles, tune-ups on time, top engine cleaners, good gas. Cars are expensive to maintain, especially if you want them to last forever. All right, so that's cleaned up. My plate's cleaned up. We do not want to use any kind of compressed air in here. Okay. We use a very nice bright white light. I'm going to find any extra glue fragments that I find and drag them out. So I got some glue fragments on my shims here. Because we're in a part of the transmission that's already past the strainer. You know what I'm saying? And if you're new to my streams, when I do the Watch Me Work segments, I do Watch Me Work vertical, and then I run a GoPro at the same time. So you can go to the main page of the channel, and you can see the GoPro footage that's in high def, and it's widescreen. Okay. So trying to give you the best of both worlds here. Let me check out chat, see how chat's doing. Knight's Fallen says, you're probably going to find out why it need to be torn apart when you put it back together. Nah, I honestly think that the reason why they make you tear it down from the ass forward is just because of these shafts, and that's all machine fit. So I'll be extra careful when I put it together. I'm more than likely going to take this off the engine stand tomorrow and get an assistant to help me stand it upwards so that everything goes in smooth. That's more than likely what they're doing. They just want to make sure that all this lines up. Uh, Uni, can you tell me what's actually cause of Nissan CVT failure? I'm trying to fix it and can find out why the chain is slipping. Honestly, is what you need to understand about CVTs is that CVTs are a gearless system. Okay, these are just driven shaft splines that you see right here, but just watch a basic YouTube video of how CVT chain, how the CVT chain creates the infinite gear system, and that's built off of friction. So that chain is constantly sliding and gripping, and your CVT fluid, that's a friction fluid, okay? So if you treat it like engine oil, where you drive on it for 30,000 miles, you change it, you drive on it some more, that means that its lubrication properties and its friction properties and its heat distribution properties, they're going to be a lot better, okay? And what's happened in the automobile market over the last 15 years is the American market started strategizing how to market to Americans, and they said, hey, I don't know which American manufacturer did it first. I'm not going to blame any, but it sounded like a good idea at the time. But the marketing team just said, you know, why don't we just tell people that all the fluids in their car, minus the engine oil, is lifetime fluid, and then we'll just say the life of the vehicle is 10 years, 100,000 miles. And we'll do that with the intention of buying their vehicle back before it hits 60,000 miles so we can resell it to the next person. And then we'll sell that person an extended warranty. That was their game. And as soon as that first company came out and started advertising their vehicles with a cheap maintenance plan, they were literally advertising that over the course of 10 years, this car only cost $1,000 to maintain, and that's with engine oil changes and brakes. Very quickly, every manufacturer followed in suit, because if they didn't, then they were losing sales hardcore, because that's all the Americans saw in the marketing campaign. That's my take from it. So if your chain slipped, it burnt up, more than likely you're going to need a new set of aerators and a chain to go with it. The oil that's going to go in this transmission is going to be Subaru CVT Type 2 fluid. I'm going to be putting this stuff in. And the part number is right there. SOA 427 Victor 1660. Yeah, this Beaches to Mountains, you guessed it right, 2012 Outback. It's a CVT Subaru, not a GMC, that's correct. What's your take on Miatas? I liked them in the 90s. Got my Ukrainian people here, nice to see you. What? You're trying to say, Dobby's trying to say this is a horrible transmission, Jack? This is actually one of the best ones that I like working with. Juice is asking how important is the bracket to the alternator? Do you really need it? If it's a supporting bracket, yeah, you need it. But if it's the bracket that goes across the top that just holds the engine cover, then no. All right, folks, that's it. 6:05. I will catch you all tomorrow. Later.